Hey everybody, Grant Miller here, Miami Communities. We're on my favorite subject, football. You know my next favorite subject? Football. Eric Poms, the Orange Bowl, he's a Killian graduate. We won't talk about that, but basketball was your game, right?
I tried to play it. I became the manager there.
Yeah, but
which led to where I am today.
Right. Henri Crockett, you grew up in Broward, right?
Yep, Pompano Beach, Florida.
Did you get a visa to come in here?
Listen, I hear that from the Miami guys all the time. They need a visa to come to Broward.
Very good. All right. So I want to talk about you're the president, correct?
Yes.
Or chairman. What title is it, Eric?
Chairman sound better.
Chairman.
President and chair.
Yeah.
President, chair.
You can say chair.
Okay, you grew up in Pompano.
Yes.
You played Little League football where?
Pompano Chiefs.
Pompano Chiefs. Then after that, what high school did you go to?
Blanchard High School.
And you played 4 years, 3 years,
No, I didn't play varsity my freshman year. I didn't start. Honestly, here's a funny thing. I didn't start playing football until my sophomore year in high school. I didn't play. I went out, played a little bit of Little League, but I was more of a fan. I always want to watch my brother play because I was so big.
And your brother was older or younger?
Older.
And he played football too?
Yeah, played professional football. 16 years, Oakland Raiders. Zach Crockett.
16 years?
Yeah.
Wow.
Legend.
Yeah.
Oakland, who was his coach?
John Gruden. John Gruden was his coach for most of the years. So John Gruden got him from Indianapolis Colts. So yeah.
Okay, so you're watching him, and you decide you're going to start playing football. What position did you play?
Remember back in the day, you used to have to weigh in.
Oh, you're talking about Little League football.
Little League. So
Oh, yeah.
I was always so big, so I had to play up. So it wasn't fun because I was like a 7-year-old. I had to play 10 because I was so big. So I just ended up being like a guy that just hung out with the guys.
I was the right guard protecting the water when I was little.
Yeah. My coaches always tell me, I'm going to put you so far down on the bench, they have to pump sunlight to you. I was that guy in Little League, so got out of high school, it just all clicked. I grew into my body.
What position did you play?
Linebacker.
And how big were you in high school?
I was 6'3", 240.
And then you went to FSU.
Went to FSU.
Who were your linebackers with?
Marvin Jones.
Okay,
Derrick Brooks.
you're gonna call Marvin, right?
Yep, I know Shade Tree.
I want you to text him.
Mm-hmm.
You text him when we get out of this conversation, or you text him now, and ask him who his first Little League football coach was.
Oh yeah. Oh man.
Boys Club.
So you got patience.
Jim Ben.
Wow.
Oh, his head was so big we couldn't get a helmet on him.
It's still big.
But because he was following Fred Jones. They both played in the Boys Club.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you text him, go, I'm sitting here with Grant Miller.
Okay.
And it's interesting about Marvin. One day he posted stuff on Facebook thanking his pro coaches, college coaches, high school coaches, and he recognized me. And we're talking when he was, I think he was like 5 playing with 8-year-olds.
Yeah.
And he was a beast then.
Yeah, he was
Okay, so it was you, and who were the other linebackers?
Sam Coward, Darrell Bush,
All great players.
Peter Boulware. So we had a really good group of linebackers.
BB.
And actually, God bless he just passed not too long ago, Lamont Green.
Yeah, he's a Southridge guy. Yeah, BB, Derek Thomas,
Oh, wow. I heard
kind of lived like right back here. His girlfriend, so he lived a couple streets down. That was one of the great FSU linebackers. Alabama.
But all those guys you played with were NFL players.
Oh, yeah.
Think about that.
All right, so you're 6'3" as a freshman?
I was 6'3". No, when I was as a freshman, I was 6'3", 250, 255.
And how fast were you?
4'5".
Holy.
But everybody at that time, that was the thing Florida State did very well. If you came from Florida, you could run. And that's why we always beat the teams up north, because we run past them. They couldn't compete with the speed. Because a lot of times you have linebackers that were safeties before that end up putting a weight on them and become linebackers. Or defensive ends be linebackers that we put a little bit of weight on, make them defensive end. So we always had guys that was runners. So it was always pretty cool.
All right, a little bit more about your college career, because it's totally impressive. You played 4 years.
I don't have that's a cool thing. I don't have an impressive college career. I played 1 year. I redshirted. Every year, I felt like I was a better linebacker at one of the 3 top linebackers. For whatever reason, I didn't. Well, the first year was my fault. That's why I always tell the kids, my foundation, that first impressions is everything. And so when I first got to college, I was the #1 player in the country, and Coach Bowden wrote about me in his book. But I was just a talented kid. No one never taught me how to play linebacker. I didn't understand.
You were just an athlete.
I was just an athlete. Mm-hmm. So when I got to college, I had to learn all these different terminologies I never heard before. Mm-hmm. So it put me behind. And they looked at it as being lazy, not loving the game, but I just didn't know. And so once I figured it out, and then I had great training camps, great spring practice for my sophomore, junior year. I redshirted. So all these years I would win. I feel I won the job in spring. Then I come back in the fall, I'm third string. And so I go from position to position because I can beat that guy out. I'm going to go over there and beat that guy out. Then I don't win the job. I go to Sam linebacker. I beat that guy out. I don't win the job. So I end up playing all these different positions. So then something that happened never happens. Coach Amato, who ended up being the coach at NC State, he recruited heavy down in South Florida. He was a defensive line coach. He switched to linebacker coach. My linebacker coach, Jim Gladden, went down to D-line coach. And when he came, he was like, you don't have to look over your shoulder. And I was like, at this point in time, I'm trying to figure what my next career going to be. And so I ended up having a great senior year. Got drafted in front of all the guys that have been playing.
That was what year? 96?
96.
Was Alex Carter in your era? Alex Carter? He was older than
that. He's a lot older. Yeah, so I ended up getting drafted.
That was a really good team.
Great team.
That was a really good team.
Oh, so you get drafted.
I get drafted for all the guys, 4th round.
By who?
Atlanta Falcons. But here's how it comes full circle. So when I was in college, I was competing, playing. I was going from position.
You
to
thought
position.
we were going to talk about the Orange Bowl? No, we're going to talk about you.
Cool, right?
You're leading. You're leading the train.
This is good.
So listen to this. So I get drafted by Atlanta in the 4th round to play middle linebacker to back up Jesse Tuggle, all-time great. But the starting linebacker, strong side linebacker, gets hurt. And he had no backup, because you only keep a certain amount of linebackers. So they asked me, can I play? I'm like, yeah, I can play. Of course I can play it, because in college, I went from position to position. I could play all 3 linebackers.
Right.
So it benefited me when I got to the pros that I could play all the positions. What I thought was like a screwed up situation ended up being the best situation possible for me, because it gave me these experiences. And what I now know is the more you can do. That's what we always say in the NFL, the more you can do. So I learned every position by default. What I thought was a bad thing turned out to be a great thing for me. So I ended up being a Sam linebacker in the NFL for 10 years. I never got a chance to play middle.
Wait, so how many years were you in Atlanta?
I was in Atlanta 6 years.
Where did you live in Atlanta?
I lived in...
it's important.
I lived in Gwinnett, then I moved to Brookhaven in Buckhead.
That's what my son lived in Buckhead.
Yeah, so I figured
loved it.
It was better to be on time to practice, because at night, right, we lived so far away in Atlanta. It was like an hour and a half.
And that traffic is bumper to bumper.
You're going out at night on the weekend. It's a long drive. Maybe if you don't have a drink or two, it's a long drive. So I'd rather be close to the city and take the drive to practice.
All right, so you had 6 years in Atlanta, and then where?
4 years in Minnesota.
For the Vikings.
Yeah.
God.
Great time.
Who won last night?
Vikings lost.
Yeah.
They played.
I asked you one, and he said the Vikings lost.
They played tough.
Okay, so you finished your
Guess
college.
who they played?
Atlanta Falcons.
Okay, you finished your
It was
career.
the Crockett Bowl last night.
Yeah, the Crockett Bowl. You finished your career. Then what?
Then,
I want to get down how you got to the foundation. How you built this foundation.
Well, here's the thing. I was always this person, and I try to tell these young guys whenever I get a chance to talk to the guys. You have to go into the NFL with the end in mind. When I went into the NFL, I knew I wanted to start a nonprofit, because the nonprofit really based off my life, the relationship I had with Dr. Cannell, who was actually the team doctor for the Dolphins at the time. He became a mentor to me when I was in high school.
Mm-hmm. Well, how did that happen?
My father passed away, and me and Danny Cannell did a photo shoot together. And when my father passed away, Dr. Cannell just started showing up at my practices. So he was like, have you passed the SAT yet? I had never even taken it. So he said, well, I'll tell you what, I'll pay for the SAT cut, but you got to get there. And so that's how the relationship started. And from that point, we started going to, he would invite me to his house because he lived on the golf course or in Coral Ridge. So I got into golf, got into the arts. Me and him shared love for food, so we started going to different restaurants. Awesome, see? So at that time, I didn't know he was really creating this thing in me, what we call exposure. Mm-hmm. And in underserved communities, I believe that's just as detrimental to not being able to read and write when the kids are not exposed. They don't know what's out there. They don't know what's expected of them. And so that's when the Crockett Foundation was born. It was born out of the relationship between me and Dr. Cannell. So when I got to the college, I already knew. I started my first give back to, I started collecting suits, and Coach Bowden helped me collect suits because I wanted to give back to individuals that's really going into the workforce that maybe didn't have, that wasn't dressing appropriate. So
for the interview and
So Coach Bowden helped me get suits donated.
Was he is really as great as everybody says? I mean, not as a coach. I mean, as a human.
He was a great guy. And if you notice, a lot of the guys that played for Coach Bowden, we started nonprofits. Like Derek Brooks has his charity. Ward Dunn has his charity. The guy that was real close and that really took heed to what he was saying. But he was one of those guys that really preached giving back. Like, we, you know, a lot of times these kids don't realize it now, but we received a lot. Even we won part of NIL. Like, you know, we got a free education. We got opportunity to meet some of the most amazing people that I'm friends with today on campus. And that's one of the things I think NIL robs these kids of, because they, every year there's a free agent, they don't get to build lasting relationships on campus like we did, you know. So
what's the foundation do?
Our goal is to bridge,
I have ADD, so I gotta keep moving.
So our goal is to bridge digital gap in underserved communities. So we'll go into underserved communities and we create innovation centers. And our job is to make sure these kids are prepared for jobs that haven't been created yet. In order to do that, you have to give them a skill set. So I decided, like, instead of like spending so much time with these kids on a daily basis, where they playing basketball, doing all these things, I want to come in and teach you how to create spreadsheets. Like down here, Eric is a spreadsheet king. So we spend time with these kids, and when they walk out here, they have a skill set they actually can use and go out and turn into a monetary gain. And from that, and if you stay in our program until you graduate from high school, we partner with the Crockett Foundation, where we give the kids a 4-year scholarship. And
out of the foundation.
Yeah, we also partner with Florida Prepaid and the lottery, and all the kids get a 4-year scholarship to go to college. But they have to do all the things that required. So we built it around bright futures, where the kids have to do a certain amount of give back. They have to create through their volunteer hours, and they also have to identify, you know, what is their give back to the community, because we're giving them so much. We're exposing them. We're taking them on college tours. Yeah. I mean, we're paying for college. Like, what are you gonna do? Like, what is going to be your give back to the community because you received so much?
So how long you've had the foundation?
22 years.
Okay, so some of these kids are now 40 years old.
Yeah.
45, right?
Something like that.
I
want to say 45.
Okay, but I'm saying late 30s. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you feel it? Do they still talk to you? Do they communicate with you, the ones?
Well, so we started out in middle school, and a lot of time we start at middle school, you don't really get a chance to hold on to the relationship. So now we're starting to hold on to the relationships. So we got kids that's graduated from college now, they come back, they volunteer.
That's beautiful.
They donate their time. And that's the biggest thing. Like, you want them, your hopes is that they see it and they understand how much they benefited from it. And they give an opportunity to come back and, you know, pay it forward. And that's what happened for me, and that's my biggest dream, for them to do the same thing.
All right, we're going to get to the Orange Bowl. Last question: how big was your family?
Well, my mom had all boys, so we was a small, tight knit family. We didn't have a big family. 3 boys.
See, I'm the fourth of 4 boys.
I'm the last of 3.
I got the.
Yeah. But you know,
not my mom, by my brothers.
You know, the cool thing about being last is, like, you get a chance to watch them make all the mistakes, right? And that's what I was able to do.
I like that. All right, so we're going to switch you up. Let's talk about the Orange Bowl.
Okay,
I am pumped up about the Orange Bowl. Mm-hmm. You got 2 things going on. Mm-hmm. You got the Orange Bowl game, then you got the national championship. And let's talk about how they're going to do this. There's 12 teams going to be in the playoffs. When do you talk about that?
I will.
A spreadsheet.
It's a spreadsheet. I'll tee it up, and then Henry can weigh in, since he played in 3
in the Orange Bowl.
Orange Bowls.
What years?
1993.
Who'd you play?
Nebraska. We played them back-to-back years. My freshman, sophomore year, won that championship. Then 95, we played Notre Dame.
And what happened in that game?
We won that one too.
Okay.
That's when he started.
Yep.
Started against Notre Dame.
He's the first president and chair of the Orange Bowl in 92 years to ever play in the game. Think about that.
Well, you know, the starting quarterback for Notre Dame is Carr.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Everybody talks about his father's father.
Right.
Well, the mother is from Miami Springs.
She is.
And,
I met her.
And her father is, you got it, Tom Curtis.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
He owned the Dolphin Digest, the Pittsburgh guy, who played for the Colts and the Dolphins.
Well, a few years ago.
Oh, Curtis.
Yeah.
32.
Tom.
32?
I don't remember. He was a. I think he was a tight end linebacker. He was a big guy.
I remember him.
We put Lloyd Carr into the Orange Bowl Hall of Fame a few years ago. I think it was in 2021-22. And he came, and she came with him. And the son was there.
Wow.
And
As a little kid?
No. He was like a high school up-and-comer. And they said he's going to be highly recruited. And we all assumed he'd go to Michigan. He ended up at Notre Dame. Wow. Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about
so this is a big year. It's a big year for South Florida. I don't think there's ever been a year like 2026. It'll start on January 1 at noon with the Capital One Orange Bowl game. It's the first Capital One Orange Bowl game at early afternoon since 1964. First one.
What rankings? What are the play?
So we're a quarterfinal, CFP quarterfinal. We don't know. It'll be anchored by a top 4 team. One of the distinctions in this year's bracket versus last year is last year was the first year of the 12-team playoff model. But in that model, the top 4 conference champions got a bye. This year, it's the top 4 teams. Big distinction.
Repeat that again.
Last year was the 4 highest ranked conference champions got a bye.
Right.
That included Boise State and Arizona State because they were 2 of the highest ranked conference champions. This year, it's teams 1, 2, 3, and 4, regardless of conference championship. So what that would have meant last year is you would have seen, Penn State would have got a bye because they were number 4 in the country. Texas would have got a bye because they were number 3 in the country. So it'll be a difference this year. So we'll have one of the top 4 ranked teams versus the winner of a first-round game.
And what day will that be? Do you know?
January 1 at noon.
Noon. And then when is the national championship?
That's 18 days later. And the Orange Bowl leads the host committee efforts here in South Florida. It's a community-wide effort. The Orange Bowl committee backed the bid. Henri and others are really, the driving force behind it. But it is a group of government leaders.
You have a host committee, correct?
Yeah, we have a host committee chaired by Jack Seiler, who was the president a few years ago. But it's populated pretty heavily by Orange Bowl members, including Henri.
Henri, you want to talk about the national championship?
Yeah, let's do it.
And FSU, they're playing good.
Oh man, I mean, I think the energy is going to be huge. Like last year, the game. I don't know if you made it to the game last year.
Yes, sir, I did.
The game we had, there were actually semifinals that we had between Penn State and Notre Dame. I think the energy just was electric. I think it's going to catapult into this year. Even going to a noon game, I think the energy is going to be great for our quarterfinals. But then 18 days later, we get a chance to host a national championship, which is pretty cool to me because I actually won my national championship here as well. So I got to understand it.
All right, so you're the president, chairman, who's first time ever going to host both.
Both.
Yes.
In Miami.
Well, I won't host both. Jack Seiler is the chair. He's the chair of the national championship. The Orange Bowl just backs at least a bit.
Well, you're carrying them on their shoulders.
He is.
You're carrying them on the shoulders.
He is.
How's FSU really? I have to talk about. You gotta want to talk Orange Bowl. I want to know if FSU is that good.
I don't know yet, but they the first 2 games they had a bye this past week, so they look really good. I like the fact that they played a lesser opponent last week and they actually still played at a high level. I think that's important. I think that a lot of times you think when you play lesser teams, it really don't mean anything. It means a lot. Because you get a chance to see the maturity of the team. Will you play down to the competition, or will you say the standard is the standard? This is how we play, no matter who we play. Whether you're not that good, or you're a really good team, the standard is the standard, and they held that up. But I need to see. I only saw a small sample size. I need to see a couple more games.
Are you going to the game when UM plays up there?
Yes.
Okay.
I'll be going to that game.
Just leave one seat, and if you're taking a charter, I'll get on that and hop out.
Oh man, listen. I've been looking at these seats at Florida State. Man, they cut out one side of the whole home side, and they created this amazing experience. It's almost like the 72 Club at the Dolphins.
Right.
So it's pretty cool.
What's exciting for South Florida?
Yes.
We got World Cup. Couple weeks, that's in the summer coming up, and then a couple months later, we got the national championship, the local tournament. It's just very exciting.
You've got so much. You got the World Baseball Classic.
Oh yeah.
You've got NASCAR's championship. You've got the Miami Open. You have Formula One. It is populated with some of the biggest events, not just nationally but internationally.
So how do the rankings right now is mind-boggling? Why do they rank it so early? Why don't we let teams play a couple of weeks?
Well, the rankings are the traditional polls. Henry's familiar with that because they existed when he played. Right. But it's not until early November when the CFP rankings come out, and that's where the momentum will build, and it'll be an exciting, month, 5 weeks leading into the ultimate selection of who's in the bracket.
I'm jumping back to what you said about the teams playing a weaker team. You're right. They got to play at their highest level, and then when the second team gets in there, that's when they're going to play even the highest level.
And believe it or not, that's how you build your team. And I remember, when I first got there, and we used to always get on Derrick Brooks and Marvin. Come on, guys, kill these guys so I can get in. So what happens is,
that's funny.
So once you get in, so you imagine that your team establishing yourself that this game is over by the second quarter. Your second team comes in, and third team, they come in, they get a chance to play second, third, fourth quarters. If you do that for 4 or 5 weeks, you got veterans backing up starters now.
And if somebody got hurt, they got the game experience.
They got the game experience. They come in, they play that's why it was always never a drop off. And you see Miami or Florida State or Florida playing
in the heyday.
It was never a drop off. The backups were so good because if you looked at the amount of plays that each player played, you might have the backup playing more than the starters because they were so dominant and you score so many points and you get the game pretty handled so quickly.
All right, I got to change the subject. There you are at linebacker, 10 years pro football. Who was the toughest running back?
Barry Sanders. Quick.
Who is the hardest hitting running back?
Craig Hayward.
You see, this is what wide receiver or tight end just cracks you down. Any linebacker, tight end can handle you?
No. No. I'll beat up on tight ends.
Who was your favorite tight end?
To play against?
Yeah.
I got up mostly for Shannon Sharp because I knew he didn't like to block, but he was an extremely good receiver, and I knew John Elway would go to him a lot.
There are Hall of Fame speeches, the brothers, the Sharp brothers. It was beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's incredible how the love for each other.
If his brother doesn't get hurt, he was probably one of the most special. Sterling was probably one of the best I ever seen.
So you're outside linebacker, strong side. Which quarterback did you fear the most?
Dan Marino.
God, quick. You're on top of
Decisive.
Because he couldn't move, but you could never sack him.
Because he was released so quick.
So quick.
Who's your favorite coach?
Dan Reeves.
Former quarterback. Was he quarterback at the Cowboys or was he tight end?
His first player coach.
Player, right.
Mm-hmm.
This before your time.
His word.
I'm a little bit older than him.
Yeah. Coach Reeves, his words, if he told you something, you could take it to the bank. And for an athlete and for a guy that grew up without a father, that meant a lot. Your word means a lot to me. I hold you in high regard when you give me your word. And I could walk away knowing that I ain't got to second guess it. A lot of times these coaches, they get put in positions where they can't keep their word or they don't want to keep their word. And sometimes that's not good for business to keep your word.
Okay. You played at Pompano. Mm-hmm. There's head coaches, assistant coaches. What coach gave you the greatest impact in high school?
It was Rocky Gillis. He's my head coach. He was tough, but he was fair. And
is he still alive?
Yeah, he's actually over high school sports in Broward County.
Great guy.
He's retiring this year. I told him he should retire, but he's retiring. Mm-hmm. But he was so tough.
He's been saying that for 5 years.
5 years.
But,
Coach Gillis was so tough, but he was fair, but he was like a father. You could come to him for anything. He'd give you the shirt off his back. But whatever you got, you had to earn it. You had to carry yourself a certain way, and it was always consistent. It didn't matter what it was. Good day, bad day, he was consistent, and you always know what you're going to get. If you did something wrong, you knew, you already knew. You was bracing for what the punishment was going to be. You know what I mean? Because it was across the board, whether you're the best player or you're the worst player. Everybody
he treated everybody fair.
And he was just tough. I always tell his daughter when I see him, this guy is not a cool guy. He's not this nice guy y'all make him out to be, right?
That's how I know him.
He's not a nice guy. But he was fair. You learned to respect him. You learned to love him because, Like I said, once we came back to school, like that's when you really saw how much he cared, And when you walked out the room, when we went places, like, wow, that's why he did all these things.
Yeah,
right?
crazy is high school coaches get paid so little in Florida. In Texas, they get paid more. They get nothing, and they love the game. They love their players. This coach, he changed so many lives.
I asked him about it, and he said coaching was the least of his problems. Because you got to think about it, he got a team full of kids that got living in single parent homes. So he, like 80, 90% of his team didn't have a father.
He was the father.
He was the father, so it was more important for him to be a father than the coach.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's why our relationships are so close, because he know the worst of the worst. He knew what everybody's going through, the first call, and he worked on campus. So like anything happened, like he was there quick. Versus like a lot of times these coaches now don't work on campus. So high school coaches. So it was what we needed at the time, and we had a ton of athletes. We didn't have a lot of great coaches that surrounded him, but it was what we needed at the time. He had to save lives versus coach most of the time.
He changed lives, saved lives. Mm-hmm. Orange Bowl. Mm-hmm. Tickets are available?
We have a few remaining, not much.
Okay.
But we do.
For the playoff.
Capital and Orange Bowl, the quarterfinal, yes.
National championship. So if I buy tickets for the bowl game, does that guarantee I'm going to get a ticket for the national championship?
Yeah, we're not the promoter.
I know.
Of the
I
national
know that.
championship game.
But that's just no.
I know.
Well, we're working on, the host committee is working on packages that will become available in the next week.
So the two
they'll
teams
be elevated.
The two teams are coming in, whoever A and B. They get a certain amount of tickets. And there's not much left
for the
national championship.
Yes, they do get quite a few more tickets for the national championship versus the other rounds.
Right.
And we've got to fundraise. I mean, our goal is $28 million to raise to take care of all the needs and requirements set by the college football playoff to make Miami, South Florida shine. And so we're doing that. And part of that is selling the limited tickets that we get. We elevate them to go towards that fundraising effort.
It's exciting. People, a lot of people don't realize these Orange Bowl games, the national championship, the Super Bowl, the World Cup, they drive people to Miami. And when a tourist comes to Miami, I'm trying to dress. I dressed as a tourist today. Is that they spend money, the tax money. They go hotels. These little restaurants. They're eating everywhere.
It's not just the direct tourism, which obviously comes as you're describing, but it's also the infomercial that it does for South Florida, because it's pretty cold across the country. You mentioned Penn State, Notre Dame. It was pretty challenging weather at that time, and those fan bases have armies of followers, and they're watching and saying, I want to be there.
Notre Dame fans, when they played, they were paying, there was people sitting in front of me paying 10 times the price, thousands of dollars. Mm-hmm. I said, why didn't you call me? But I mean, the prices were going so high. So it's exciting for South Florida and what you guys do. How many people on your board?
We got like four. How many? 400?
We have 415 members of the Orange Bowl.
Yeah. It's a different number.
Impressive. Those people are have in the past changed Miami. Now it's making better. And by the way, the stadium is in Miami Gardens. Mm-hmm. I grew up 4 blocks from there, 191st. Mm-hmm. When it was called Carroll City. Now they Shirley Gibson starts the city and calls it Miami Gardens.
Yeah. I would tell you this, and maybe Henry can speak to it because he knows it better than anybody. But one of the benefits coming from the Capital and Orange Bowl and the 2026 CFP National Championship game is the community give back. So through Orange Bowl, we have an Orange Bowl Cares platform. And then with the National Championship game, he'll describe, I'm guessing over $10 million is going back into the community this year.
Well, before you go, you redid Homestead Field. You redid it's Moore Park. Is it Moore Park?
Yes.
That used to be Central Boys Club, by the way.
Yes.
That used to be Central Boys Club.
I didn't know that. Okay.
And also,
That's
You.
That's Jim
Yeah,
Bernhardt.
that's
That's
big.
Boys Club.
and also redid the park I grew up on, the Pompano Chiefs. We call it Mitchell Moore. We had opportunity to redo that field, and I was just fortunate enough to be a part of that. and
That's
see
pretty
it happen.
exciting. You grew up on that
Grew up
park.
on it, then, and you see the transformation that it does for the community. Like these parents, they deserve to come to a place to watch their kids play a game in a safe environment, in a place that's really been done up, and the kids get an opportunity to play on the surface that's safe, and that's going to keep them healthy. But to see the transformation that it does to these communities, especially when you go down to Carter Park down in Fort Lauderdale, that's the other one we did, off of Sunrise. You see those. I always tell people go by there like 7:30 at night, and how it's transformed the community. You see all the families out walking at night, getting healthy. It's done a whole lot for the community, and we get an opportunity to go back there to do our back to school event there too, where we make sure the kids have all the different resources that they need to start school off. You know what I mean? So the impact that we're making through our Orange Bowl Cares, and how we're like really just taking on all the needs of the community is unmatched. You know what I mean? So we're known for the Orange Bowl game, but our community impact far succeeds that.
You did one at Ivisdary? Didn't you do one at Ivisdary?
Yeah. So for this championship game, there's 2 legacy gift fields going in.
Where?
One is at Walt Frazier Park, where Henry's son grew up. Jeremiah Smith
Right
grew up.
City.
Yeah, it's right next to the high school. And that's a partnership with Miami-Dade County and the city of Miami Gardens. So it's really exciting. And we'll do a ribbon cutting right before the national championship game. And the second legacy gift is going to the Kendall Boys and Girls Club, K-Land.
K-Land.
Where I grew up down the
The
street
water
there.
plant.
Yeah, that's right.
By the way, history,
yeah.
you fair used to be there.
Really?
Oh, yeah?
That's
Wow.
right. That's your backyard. You probably weren't born yet.
I remember it where it currently is, which is,
No, it used to be at K-Land.
Wow.
And it was at Dayland one year.
Oh, wow.
Dayland used to be a military base, too.
Wow.
I have to give you the history.
I am getting educated
But
here.
what's interesting, you talk about activities. I drive by, I call it Century Boys Club, but it's Moore Park.
Yeah.
It's on the expressway.
Yes.
It is crazy.
Yes.
Not football. Everybody's out there. They're running. And it's just a beautiful sight.
It just transcends neighborhoods, and I say that's one of the things I'm so proud of. I get to see it firsthand, and so-
Right.
And it's unbelievable that the community gets the opportunity to share in that. So it's awesome.
And beyond that, part of the requirements to host a national championship game is you partner with the CFP's foundation in a program called Extra Yard for Teachers. So we partner with Miami-Dade County Public Schools, Broward County Public Schools, School District of Palm Beach County. We're doing 31 libraries and primarily middle schools, elementary schools, and they're turning into innovative learning centers. And there's a STEAM lab going in Miami Gardens at Bunch Park.
You did one last year?
Yeah.
It was in the inner city. It was unbelievable. You redid a library.
Yes.
Correct.
Yes.
I forgot where it was.
31 of those are going on.
The Orange Bowl is more than football. You're changing lives. People don't realize. People see the outside, and when you're inside, you see that you're changing lives. And if you change lives, you might save a life. You're like that football coach. He saved lives.
100%.
And your foundation is changing lives and could be saving lives.
Correct.
We have to wrap it up, but anytime you want to come back down,
That'd be great.
I'm a good guy. I got the passport. I'll get you in and out of Dayton Broward. Do you feel the difference when you cross over?
I definitely feel the difference. And our Orange Bowl members feel the difference too. They give me such a hard time, but they finally allowed me to have one meeting in Broward County. And
Wait, you had the prayer breakfast. I know it wasn't yours, you sponsored, but you had a prayer breakfast in Broward.
Yeah.
And
Unbelievable.
Don Bailey and Mark Rick. Everybody cried. Mark Rick was just outstanding, and Don Bailey. First of all, everybody thinks he's funny. That day, he was serious, and everybody cried.
Yeah, I was there. It was amazing.
Yeah.
And then that was my guy. He recruited me. That's how I got to Florida State, Coach Rick.
Oh, I thought Don Bailey. Oh, Don Bailey. I don't want to see him, in the carpet look.
Well, Don Bailey is one of those 415 members of the Orange Bowl Committee, so just a great guy.
All right,
Wonderful.
we're wrapping it up. Grant Miller here. Eric Poms, Mr. Crockett. Hey, you got any questions? Go to the Orange Bowl. Everybody, have a great Orange Bowl day.
Yes.